Welcome to the theFNtruth, where most topics are worth discussing, and I'm the master of none, but I'm a realist. I'm your host, Chris Hurst, aka CH, aka The Truth. Now, these are my views and opinions, so don't sue me. So now, let's go. What's good, people? How's everybody doing? This is Chris Hurst for the theFNtruth. Before we get started, you can follow me on Instagram at theFNtruth, or you can follow me on my YouTube page, which is ChrisHurstProduction, all one word. Chris, H-U-R-S-T, production, all one word. Or you can see these videos on my on my Facebook page, which is theFNtruthPodcast. Now, we got that out the way. Today, I have a guest. Her name is Carolyn Wilson, and today she's here to tell us about her story. She's an author. She recently did a documentary called The Good Life, and we're going to get into that and talk about The Good Life. But first, Carolyn, tell us about who you are.
I always have to be prepared for this, and I never know what to say. It's like, I know it's coming. It's like, get ready, jump in double dutch. It's coming, it's coming. Right. So, I'm Carolyn Wilson. Like you said, I'm an author, filmmaker now, first-time filmmaker.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yay. Never thought. Woman of God. And that's pretty much me, and I'm magnified. Yeah. That's the best way to describe me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you from? Born and raised?
Philadelphia.
Okay.
Not West Philly, though.
West Philly?
No.
Oh, not West Philly.
Not West
Okay.
Had a stint in there, but
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. What part of Philly?
Then again, I might have been born in West Philly. No, but I don't know. No one told me anything. No, but uptown.
Uptown. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm from Uptown.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. I didn't know that was uptown until
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
told me.
Yeah.
I thought I was in New York.
Yeah.
You uptown. I'm like, you uptown. I'm like, what you talking about? It's just downtown.
Yeah.
So like, it's downtown, North
Right.
Philly, South Philly, West
Right.
Philly.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, Uptown is considered like the Mount Airy area where I'm from. Shout out to my Mount Airy people. So that's Uptown. So, but you're from East Oak Lane, is it?
Yeah, northwest section of the city. East Oak Lane, West Oak Lane, Oak Lane, somewhere up in that little quadrant. Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
The boundaries are kind of.
I understand.
Yeah.
I got you.
Up there.
Got you. Now, what high school did you attend?
I went to we had this conversation before. John W. Hallahan Catholic High School for Girls.
Okay.
No comment. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's Catholic. Like I'm a public school guy, so I can't. I can't
relate.
Much.
Yeah. Can't relate. I'm
different.
Catholic school girl. Can't relate.
I'm Central 247. So So
know nothing about that.
Yeah. People
but it was all
Central,
boys when you went?
No, actually it was the second year where females came in.
Okay.
It was the second year.
Because girls run the world.
Ah.
We infiltrated the all boys school.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yes. So you were there, you said the second year you were there? So your sophomore year?
My freshman year. So
okay.
Yeah, so the second year was my freshman year.
Oh, so you never had a chance to experience as a single sex school. All boys school. You never had that experience.
Not at all. So when I got there, I started in 1984.
Okay.
So when I got there in 84, the first class of females was 1983.
Okay.
So when I got there, that was their second year.
That was their second year.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Dang, I remember when it happened.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big. I definitely remember when it happened.
It was a big deal. I don't know who's the first woman that did it, but shout out to you, whoever you are.
I know, girl power. Girl power.
So that's
even back then in 1884.
I know. How about that?
How about that?
Right. There you go. So now let's talk about your documentary, The Good Life.
Yes.
So, give us a synopsis on what The Good Life is about.
Remember, I'm a first-time filmmaker. I gotta get used to this.
I understand.
So, it's basically, it's about wanting to make a change But in order to make a change, you need to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And, everyone has a moment in their life, like a defining moment in their life that things they can make a decision based on that defining moment, and it can change the directory of their life and which way they go.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what this film was about, because for me, there was a defining moment.
Okay.
There was definitely a defining moment that kind of made me have to make a choice.
Okay. Now, what was that defining moment?
The defining moment was I'm a survivor of sexual child abuse.
Okay.
So that was something that I pretty much lived with, and you bury it. Like a lot of people have different types of trauma.
Right.
They could have had an alcoholic parent, right? They could have been in foster care. They could have, so you just fill in the blanks with whatever different narrative. They may have even been homeless. You don't know what people go through in their life. Like,
Understood.
Everybody has a story.
Absolutely.
Point blank. Everybody does.
Absolutely.
Nobody's story less.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
Because if they think they are, they only got their representative, and they're not being true to themselves.
I agree.
So everybody has a story. So when you figure out exactly what your narrative is, right, or the one that was given to you, a lot of times we have a tendency to bury it because we're ashamed, we're embarrassed, or we're in denial, and we just don't want to deal with it.
Understood.
Right? So it just kind of goes away, and we go on with our life, and then we wonder why things are just kind of out of whack.
Right. Right.
Because we're lugging this stuff.
Right.
Or it keeps popping up and poking you in the foot. It just keeps like jabbing at you, keeps coming up.
Right.
And you keep pushing it away, and it keeps popping up, and you keep pushing it away. So we make those choices to ignore it. Right? We make a choice.
You're right.
We make a choice to do nothing. It's like, okay. See, but then eventually you have to get to a point, at least I hope people do, get to a point where they make that choice to make a change, so that way that no longer can continue to keep poking them and keep popping up and keep throwing them off guard, right? So yeah, that was, I don't know what we're talking about, but that had something to do with it. Yeah.
Right. So who was the person that sexually abused you?
My father, my biological father.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. As far as I can remember, so far as I can remember, so I can remember at least being three. So I may have been a baby, don't know. But up until I was about 14.
Wow.
Yeah. So all my formative years, that's all I know.
Was your mother and father together during that time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were.
Your biological mother?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom and dad, they were married. Yep.
Okay. During that, and I know that you were a child, but during that time, did you know that something wasn't right?
Not until I was a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah, not until I was a teenager. But when I was younger, that was...
Right.
I don't know. I was just,
Right. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Now, when you became a teenager, who was the first person that you reached out to?
It wasn't until I became the abuse had already stopped, and it was just something that was just still kind of there, and I just never talked about it. I didn't bring it up until I was 17.
Okay.
Yes, kind of interesting. I remember even remember the after school special, the ABC after school special?
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yes, I do.
After school specials. I remember sitting down watching the after school special with my grandmother when they were, and one of the episodes was about child molestation.
Oh, wow.
And I remember sitting there going, feeling so uncomfortable. And my grandma was like, oh, wow, we're just, because it's like watching Lifetime, it's the modern day, the back in the day version of Lifetime. And, and I just remember having to just pretend that I didn't know what this was, but it was me all day, every day, and I just could not get it to say anything. I just pretended that, because I was already used to just kind of putting it to the side and ignoring it. And even if it came to me, it was just because I had plenty of opportunity to say something, but it just something I just didn't want to talk about. I didn't want to deal with it. So I didn't deal with it. But it didn't come out until I was about 17.
Okay.
And it was I just kind of talked to my boyfriend about it at the time, and he was like, "You need to say something." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." So then I went and told my grandmother, and then the rest is from there. And then we went and reported it. She was like, "Do you want to call the police?" I was like, "Yeah." So I was 17.
Now, your grandmother, was it his mother or?
No, my mother's mother.
Your mother's
yeah,
mother. Okay.
Yeah, my mother's mother. So, but I went to my grandmother and told her, and then we told my mom together. But I went to my grandmother.
Okay. And how did your mother react to it?
She was, you kind of hear this, and it's typical. She was in shock. She was kind of in denial.
Okay.
And she just kind of didn't really know how to deal with it.
At the time, were they still together? Like,
they were, by that time, they were together apart.
Okay.
He wasn't in the house any longer, because we were living with my grandmother. Okay. So when he was wherever he was doing whatever he was doing, and then it was kind of like she needed him to take him to the, because she didn't drive. Okay. So she was fully dependent upon him, even though he wasn't in the house any longer. Okay. So it was like, listen, it was like a together apart type. I don't know what their situation was.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. I understand.
Yeah, he was just a father from afar.
Okay. Now, are you the only child?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
Is that another story?
Yes. Yeah. That's yeah.
Okay. You care to share or?
Well, they would have to, they have to watch The Good Life to find out.
Understood. It's a plug. You got to watch The Good Life to find out that part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can't give up everything.
I understand. So, when you lived in the house with your mother and father, I mean, besides the molestation and things like that, how was your father as a man, as a father? How was he?
I mean, we did father-daughter stuff, like, going to the park and singing goofy songs and reading books,
Right.
Going to go look at, animals at the fish store, the pet store, just stuff.
Father-daughter.
Yeah, father-daughter stuff, kinda, I guess.
Okay.
But then there was also times where, that I also saw him being really, just like rude and ignorant, really, like to his mother.
Oh.
Yeah, to his mother, to, not sometimes to my mother. But I just would always I saw a different side to him, kind of just make you just kind of retreat. Yeah, I would see sides to him that would make you want to retreat.
Understood.
Yeah.
Do you think that something happened to him in his past?
You never know. Probably he's probably dealing with something or had to deal with something. I don't know. That's above my pay grade to figure that out.
I understand.
I have no idea, but there's some kind of disconnect for him. What would cause him to want to, basically have sex with your own daughter, right? There's a disconnect there.
Right.
There's a disconnect there. There's no love or respect, because I saw it not for his mother, not for my mother,
right,
or any woman, my grandmother, my great grandmother, and then even me. So, yeah.
So where was his father?
My grandfather was around, and he argued with his grandfather, my grandfather. Yeah, so he was just. Yeah, now I think about it, he was just always angry.
Okay.
And upset and mad, but just deal with it.
Okay.
I mean, he's a product. Only thing that I can think of, I can put it, he's a product of a biracial situation. So from the stories that I've heard, and that he's always had this identity crisis, not knowing who he was, and people not knowing who he is, and the blacks don't accept him, the whites don't accept him, just this question mark. So I guess if you're not giving him an excuse, but, and then I heard some other stories about how my grandfather met my grandmother over in Germany. So he's a war, that American war kind of situation going on over there. And from what I understand, because he didn't come to the States until he was 13.
Okay.
So, but my grandfather was back and forth.
Okay.
Because of, being in the service. So, and then I think he went there and he stayed for a while because it was like populate Germany or something that America did with Germany.
Okay.
And so from what so he may have had he may have mommy daddy issue. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Once again, it's above my pay grade.
Right. So what was your father's nationality?
He's German.
Okay.
Yeah, he's German. So, but he's white, he's Caucasian, but I think he's mixed. So, but he everything he claims is Caucasian.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's go back.
So he lives as a white man.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once you told your grandmother and told your mother, what was the next step after that?
There was no next step.
No?
Mm-mm.
Like, no one said, let's go to the police?
Well, yeah, after this, we went to the police. Yeah, the police came, took me to the SVU at the time. Okay. And that was it.
SVU,
sexual victim. Come on, you don't watch that show. You don't watch Ion. Everybody watch Ion. Gotta watch it. No plug though.
We're using too many acronyms out here in this world, so you know.
So what is it? Sexual Victims Unit.
Okay, all right, there
SVU.
it is.
Sexual Victims Unit. Yeah, SVU.
I'm not good with all these acronyms these days. There's so many going on.
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
But you watch Ion. Everybody watch Ion.
I got you.
Marathons.
Got you.
CSI.
Okay. So now once you went there, what happened next?
I reported the abuse, and from what I understand, they picked him up, and that was it. And he just stopped coming around. He stopped picking my mom up, stopped calling. And everything just went away.
And he was still living in Philly at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So after they picked him up, did the authorities say, we picked your father up and this is what's going on next?
I don't know. I was still a minor. So I was 17. So any conversation that would have been had would have been with my mother.
Understood.
Yeah. So that's what I said.
Understood. So you two never spoken about it at all? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only response I remember my mother saying, "Well, he was a good man."
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what said she struggled with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So let's go a little bit forward.
Not that she didn't believe me, because she never said I don't believe you.
Okay.
But she never said I believe you either.
Okay. Let's stay right there.
Okay.
So, how was your relationship with your mother at that? When you said she didn't believe or she did believe, so how was your relationship with your mother at that point?
I guess it speaks volume because I said I went to my grandmother.
So to this day, how was the relationship?
Well, my mother is now deceased, so that's no problem. Yeah, she's deceased, but my grandmother is my mom, my grandma, all that.
Okay.
Even from back then.
Did you and your mother make amends before?
No, but there was really no. It was just no ever conversation about it. Further conversation about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, after everything that happened in your life, did you seek therapy or anything like that?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Now, did you think you needed it, or you just thought it wasn't important?
I got to the point where I just wanted something I just wanted to be heard. You know what I mean? Like I had already told, and I'm sitting waiting, and I spent years, inquiring.
Okay.
And I kept getting pushed to the side, inquiring. Got pushed to the side, inquiring. Oh, that building's not existing anymore. Oh, those files are locked up. Oh, it's past the statute of limitation. Oh, it just kept getting brushed to the side.
Understood.
To the side. So then I had to make a decision. Here we go with that choice again, right?
Right.
So do I continue to put all this energy in it, and it's like getting to me, and I'm not getting anywhere.
Right.
So I wasn't even thinking about therapy. I just wanted justice, right?
Understood.
I just wanted justice. I
Right.
wanted to be heard.
Right.
I wanted something to be done, and I couldn't get anywhere. And it was just something that was just always lingering. And then I just had to make a decision. I think I was maybe 22, 23, and I just made a decision. I said, you know what? I gotta live my life.
So at 22, 23, you just said, forget it?
I just said, forget it.
And you moved on
And I
with your
just
life?
buried it. And I just
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's fast forward.
Mm-hmm.
What made you get into the documentary of doing a story of your life, The Good Life?
Because like I said, everything that gets buried
Has to come up.
has to come up.
Understood.
Has to come up. And even though all those years it kept coming up, I kept pushing it back down. And this time it came up, and it was like, it's not going down.
Okay. Without getting deep into
Mm-hmm.
your story, and if you can't answer it, you can't answer it.
Okay.
Did anything happen to your father after all of that?
From when I told?
Right.
No. Mm-mm. Nope.
So did he live his life like, happily ever after?
Yeah, pretty much. As far as I know, I don't know. Haven't seen him. I think I saw him one time at my grandfather's funeral. I saw him, and it was like he saw a ghost. And it was kind of like vindication for me, because I did see him. No, correction. I saw him one other time in the subway in the L. I remember seeing him. I was going, so I don't know where I was going. I was in the L, and I kind of walked right past him, and then he looked like he was about to speak to me and hug me, and I just looked at him and kept on walking.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was,
Okay.
I gotta remember, you come up from the sub, for you guys that don't know about Philly. So you got on the L, I came off the L, and I was about to go from the L, coming off the Frankfurt line, going to West Philly.
Okay.
And I got off to go so I can get on the subway. So he was
Okay.
coming up the sub steps.
Understood.
And I was about to go down the sub steps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that the last time that you saw him?
That was the first time I saw him.
Okay.
After I had already told. And then the next time I saw him was at my grandfather's funeral.
Okay. What year was that?
That was in 98. Yeah, 98.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
98. That was in 98. Cause my mom passed in 99. It was 98.
Okay.
Yep. So I haven't seen. So when I told it was. So let me see. Now I gotta do my math. Head math. I'm a little up here. Hold up. Yeah, I was 17. Wait a minute. I graduated 87. So 86.
Okay.
Yeah, so it must have been 86 or 87. No. It wasn't 87.
Okay.
It wasn't 87 because I was about to turn 18.
Okay.
It was in 86 because I had already graduated high school.
Okay.
Because I was one of those. I graduated early.
Okay. All right.
Because
Smarty.
I was smart.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so no, it was in 87. Okay. Yeah, it was in 87.
Okay.
And so all that time, I haven't seen him.
Okay.
I haven't seen him until it was at my grandfather's funeral. And I made a choice to go to my grandfather's funeral.
Okay.
Knowing he was going to be there. And when I tell you, it was like, he was very uncomfortable. I ain't here. Right. I'm not here for you.
Right.
I'm here for him.
Right.
Because I made amends with my grandfather. So it was like, that's something I needed to do.
I understand.
I'm not worrying about you.
Right.
So talk about in an awkward position, but it was kind of liberating for me. And I'm going to be honest. It was kind of like, yeah, I got your number. Because we had to ride in the car together. We had to be in the house together.
Gotcha.
Because this is immediate family. Right?
Absolutely.
It's like I was in the kitchen and he was out there. Okay, let's get together so we can pray. And then I walked out the kitchen and then it was like, mind you, I told you he's white, right?
Right.
If he can get another shade of white, alabaster.
Okay.
He became translucent.
Got you.
He became Casper.
Got you.
It was like, and I was like, okay. And it was the most. Now watch it. Now I'm his daughter, right?
Right.
It was like I didn't even exist.
Wow.
Like he saw me, acknowledged me, and it was like, and then just went on And we existed and didn't exist in the same way for that whole funeral.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now
he was shooketh, not me.
That's cool. You're standing strong.
That's right. That's right. That was in 98, and then, like I said, went on my life. So.
Okay. So now you did a documentary called The Good Life.
Yes.
So now you actually submitted your film into film festivals.
Yes.
And you actually got your film accepted.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big feat.
How about that?
Yeah, that's a big feat.
First time out the gate.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
So no, you can celebrate. But which film festivals did you have your documentary submitted to and approved, accepted?
Okay, now I gotta remember because it keeps growing.
You hear that, y'all?
It keeps growing.
She just bragged on us. She just stunning on us right now. It's all good. I never got mine into a film festival, by the way. So go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, all right. So sorry. So I did it again. I didn't mean that. But no. The first film festival that, well, I just kind of put in. I didn't know what I was doing. I just put in for a lot of stuff. But the first festival that I got accepted in was Cinema Fest in New York.
Okay.
In Ellington, New York.
Okay.
And it won.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm like,
congratulations. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
it won. And it's funny because that's, now, mind you, it was up against a veteran, and in the category I was in, it was up against another film that was for veterans and heroes. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a wrap, because we know how people feel about our vets. Can't touch that, right? Or like Hammer, can't touch that.
Right.
And then I got the message that I won. I'm like, what does this mean?
Right.
What do you mean I won?
Right.
I won. I was like, oh, okay. And people still there. I'm like, I don't know. So that was, from the gate. So.
And when, do you remember the year? What year was that film festival?
In December of 19. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this just literally, it just happened.
Oh, awesome.
No, that just happened.
Awesome. Now, were you at the actual film festival?
Well, here's the thing. I was on my way to go to the film festival because it was in December, and I was going to go, but then because it was near Buffalo, New York, and around and about Ellington, somewhere near Buffalo, and they had a really bad snowstorm, so they had to cancel it. So I didn't get to go up, but they invited me to come back in June.
Nice.
So even though they're having another festival in June, because I think they do it like twice a year, so I'm invited to come and they're going to screen it in June.
And that's June of 2020.
Yeah, this June coming up. Yeah,
awesome.
So I'll be
going
up there. Yep, I'll be going up there.
Now, do they give you a prize or?
I'll find that out once I get up there. They're going to do all of that in June because everything had to get postponed. So.
Understood.
Yeah.
Now
But I have my laurel.
There it is.
Got my laurel. I know what they are now. They're not just a wreath. So you see, they're little wreaths.
Yeah.
That's a laurel.
That's right. Brag about it. You know, that's an accomplishment.
I know. I didn't understand the importance of that. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
when you see those on the flyers and stuff,
and the posters. Yes.
And apparently that means a lot. And I'm like, I got one, but. Yeah, now I'm kind of, it's like I keep creating flyers and adding them, and then I got to keep changing the flyer because I just literally just printed out some posters.
Okay.
And in the process of having it printed, I got more.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, am I bragging again?
Listen, it's time to stunt. It's all good. Look.
Yeah, no, but it's, so right now it's at, so... The Cinema Fest, I'm trying to remember, Cinema Fest in New York, so one there. Florence, Italy.
Okay.
It's a finalist.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Florence. I was like, what? Florence, Italy became a finalist. It was like they have like a monthly competition.
Okay.
So it became a finalist in the monthly competition. So they're having a big, so I just have to wait and see where it ends up. But for right now, it's a finalist. Which is, it's a finalist. Let's keep me posted. Let me know what you're doing.
Right.
So that was with the Pan African festival in Los Angeles, and that one is huge. Like that one is one that qualifies for Oscars and for like that one's a big one. I submitted. I was like, what the heck?
Right.
So, but for them to, it didn't get in. That's okay. But for them to acknowledge it, and to have dialogue with me, it wasn't just the standard, template.
Right.
Someone personalized a message to me, and we had conversation back and forth.
Right.
That's, to me, that's worth more than a laurel. Right. But the one from the media film festival, she explained to me, same thing. But then what she did, I'm like, thank you. She literally gave me a endorsement in her writing because she said The Good Life, and then said it was compelling. It was this. I was like, the way she wrote it. That's awesome. I was like, wow. Awesome. Okay, this is cool. So that's to me, that's worth a laurel, even though it's not an official one, but that to me, that holds value because you still had to see it. And in the way I look at it, even though I got buku knows, right? The way I see it, someone in Jamaica had to look at it in order to say no. Someone in Portland, Oregon had to look at it in order to say no. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it. Someone had to see it to make a decision.
Absolutely. You're right.
Someone had to see it to make a decision.
You're absolutely right.
So,
and plus, what you're doing because of this Me Too movement, it falls right in line with what's going on. Right. So you're in the right space at the right moment. Right. Although it's an unfortunate thing. Yeah. But this is the time.
This is the time.
That Me Too movement is real.
Right.
And so that's why your documentary is important at this time period. And
it's definitely an important piece. And the timing is right. You're right. It is.
So this is a short film?
It's a short film, short documentary. Okay. It's like some of the categories that I know that I got some of the laurels from were woman in film, like best woman in film, best inspirational film. I'm trying to remember what best documentary, short documentary. But I've learned to now be a little bit more specific because of, like you said, it's not going to appeal to everyone, and I get it, and that's okay.
Right.
It just depends on what, like for instance, I just received one where it's in a festival in New York called Love Wins.
Okay.
And it's like, it fits. There's one in Florida that I'll be in next month, and next month is March, which is Women's History Month. And it's a festival, our time celebrating women.
Okay.
And when the program director saw my film, she was like, I would highly encourage you to submit your film.
Okay.
Because I missed the deadline. Because that was something else. It was in my cart. And whatever. I missed it. So I reached out. Because my thing is, what we talked about earlier, closed mouth don't get fed, right? So I just reached out. And I asked, listen, I wanted to submit it. But here's the link. And she looked at it and said, I would highly encourage you to submit it.
Nice.
And she gave me a waiver.
Awesome. I
was like, all right.
Okay.
And that was one that I actually did outside of kind of going through the system because we couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get the code to work. So she said, I already got you in the festival. Don't even worry about it.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, and then she sent me personal laurels and personal, acceptance. So, yeah, so I'm like, wow. But I'm learning to just, like you said, just being, what did you describe? How did you describe when I talked about when I saw my dad? I was like, yeah, all right. You said something, like owning it or something. I know, you got to go to rewind.
Yeah, I know.
Rewind. No, something about basically just kind of like just owning that space. So, something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
But it's pretty much the same way at this point. It's kind of like, why not? Just the fear is no longer there. So like when I was younger and everything, was afraid about a lot of stuff and I didn't want to deal with stuff. Now I'm like, just bring it.
Awesome.
The only thing you can do is tell me no.
So, for the people in the Philadelphia area,
yes,
where can they see your documentary?
So right now, in March, well, they just missed the screening, so they just happened a few weeks ago. But there will be two screenings, because this is another one I just got. Sorry.
Okay.
So I'm having a screening in Philly
Okay.
on the 21st, March 21st.
Okay. Tell them where.
March 21st, 1 to 4 at St. James Church, 199 East Tabor Road. So it's right off the boulevard. Go on Rising Sun and Tabor Road's right there.
Do you know the zip code?
19120. Trying to test me. But I know that's where you could. You know where else you can go? I can tell you where. Wait. I'll tell you where else you can go. You can go to the Good Life.
There you go. That's right.
You can go to the Good Life .2.eventbrite.com and you can register. And it'll give you all the information. Give you information about the film, about me, and about the date and time where
Give
it's
that
located.
again.
The Good Life DOC, put the number 2.eventbrite.com. That's it.
Okay.
And that's where they can find it. So that's where it's in Philly. But then for people in the New Jersey area or live in mid-Jersey, it's going to be in Trenton on the 30th. See, that's another festival I just got.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
So that's on the 30th. So
Okay.
that was another personal invitation.
Okay.
Because I just reached out. See, sometimes you just have to.
Absolutely.
You just have to reach out.
There it
So
is.
I had an opportunity to talk with. I went to a workshop for film festivals, because I'm like, well, I guess this is the next thing to do. This is
Right.
what people told me. So I went to a workshop about film festivals. So they had four women
Okay.
on a panel who were program directors
Okay.
for film festivals. So they were sharing with us all the different kind of like ins and outs of festivals and how to program it. That's why I know about real estate. That's why I know the language now a little bit, because I gotta act like I know what I'm talking about
There it is.
just a little bit.
I got
So
you.
I kind of understand. So it's not a hard feeling if they say no, because I understand from the programmer standpoint, like what's their theme, what's their because sometimes it depends on what they envision, how
Absolutely.
they want the festival to go, the flow of the
Totally
festival.
agree.
So
I get it.
like they said something crazy, like this film ends with a feather. We want the next film to begin with a feather. No, seriously, they said it just depends, like how their flow, whoever's doing the programming, that's it. Because they have different themes and they may have different panels. So you may fit,
Right.
you may not.
Right.
So,
Understood.
and then especially if it's, because you have a lot of shorts that are 5 minutes or 8
Right.
minutes, because the standard is about 8 minutes, 10 minutes. They can kind of maybe fit you in somewhere under
Absolutely.
whatever different kind of category. But for mine to be, if it's a feature, which is from what I understand, like 40 or 50 minutes or more, depending on the festival, it has to be really good.
Right.
It has to really, be impactful, have a message. It has to, aesthetically, it has to have everything together. Your shorts, you have a little bit of leeway, but it's still, once again, with it being a 30-minute piece, it has to
keep
fit.
the attention.
Yeah, it has to fit. So, but in any event, I got the chance to have one of the directors view my film and critique it, and of course she ripped it all apart. I mean, like, ripped it. And I was just like, you're not telling me nothing I don't know already, but thank you. But that's effective criticism. I mean,
Right. Not everyone's going to like what they
right,
see.
no one's going to like it. So, but that's okay. But I still took in
Absolutely.
So it just validated the things that I already knew, because we're our own worst critic.
Absolutely.
But for her to, this is what she does, and she looked at it with a different eye.
Right.
Like she broke it down to at 2.4 seconds.
Oh yeah.
At 2 minutes in this was like this, and then I was like,
I've had those critics too. I know
yeah.
exactly
So
what you're saying.
she was like managed every single millisecond.
People like that, you just got to say, okay, thanks, and keep it moving.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
But then I got a chance to have lunch with one of the other panelists, and we had a conversation, and she has a festival in, we should probably put it in there, festival in New Jersey. It's a pop-up.
Okay.
And then what they do is they have a discussion afterwards.
Okay.
So it depends on what their theme is, once again, because she pops up in Philly, Jersey, North Jersey, South Jersey, just all different places. So this just happens to fit the program this year. And when I was telling her about it, she's like, she's like, what is your film about? Which I have to get used to trying to figure out, because every time I say it, I say something different. So so when I was explaining to her what the film was about, and she was like, oh, no, we have to have you in our festival. Send me an email, send me a link, and just send it to me. And I did.
Okay.
And that was back in, I don't remember when I went I think I went in December. Yeah, it was back in December. So here it is. You know, I just got the email like last week.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, okay, we have you. Are you able to come up on March 20th? March 30th. We want to put you on a festival. March 20th, which is the day before my screening here in Philly. So it'll be in Trenton, New Jersey at Artworks, I believe, from 7 to 9. That's free. Both of them are free. I don't have the address. You're going to have to Google it, look it up. But it's in Trenton, Artworks.
What's that date again?
March 20th, 2020 from 7, it's a Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Saturday in Philadelphia, in the Alany section in Philadelphia, because we're talking about sections, 199 East Tabor Road, St. James Church, and you can go on Eventbrite. Just look up The Good Life, thegoodlife.2. The reason why it's 2 because it's the second screening. It's a community screening and panel event, so you'll get to meet some of the cast, people that were in the film, people that kind of help on the production side, and just people in the to help with this whole, like you said, Me Too movement kind of thing. Right. Professionals, and we're just gonna have a conversation about it afterwards. So yeah.
Now, where can people contact you personally?
They can contact me. Just Magnify Your Essence. Everything Magnify Your Essence. All social media platforms. That's the best way. And if you need to email me, just magnifyyouressence@yahoo.com. So
you said Magnify Your Essence?
Yes. All one word.
All one word. Magnify Your Essence.
Magnify Your Essence. Yes.
And that's on.
Believe it or not, I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
All of that is Magnify Your
Essence.
Yep. Okay.
Magnify Your Essence.
That's Carolyn Wilson, and her handle is Magnify Your Essence.
Yep.
On basically all
social media platforms. I'm Googleable. That's a word.
Anything else you want to add to this?
You can also go to Amazon.com and BarnesandNobles.com for Magnified Thoughts. That's my book.
That's your book.
That's my book.
Okay.
Yeah. And it ties into The Good Life. So it's kind of like everything is in reverse. So I did the book first, which is kind of like the end, kind of, or the middle. And now The Good Life kind of takes it all the way.
Cool.
And it kind of just pieces it all together. So yeah.
Okay.
All things
Amazon.com.
Yeah, if you go, if people got Prime, you can get one of my book. Amazon and BarnesandNobles.com.
And the name of the book again?
Magnified Thoughts.
Magnified
Thoughts. A transitional journey to discover your amazing you.
Okay. Anything else before we shut it down?
No, that's it.
Okay.
But thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I thank you for coming through and sharing your story. People in the Philadelphia area, support her. Go see her documentary called The Good Life. It's in Philadelphia at the St. James
Church, 199 East Tabor Road, Philadelphia, PA 19120, from 1 to 4 on a Saturday, March 20th. Yeah.
March 21st. Or is it
21st? Sorry.
March 21st.
Yeah, March 21st.
She's busy, y'all. She's busy. She's blowing up. But that's all I got for today.
You said it. I did.
Right.
There's no shade on my end.
Right. You know, I'm the low end dude, so you know y'all can follow me on Instagram.
I'm on your show.
At theFNtruth. Or you can see these videos on my YouTube channel, which is ChrisHurstProduction, all one word, Chris HURST Production. Or you can see these videos on my Facebook page, which is theFNtruth Podcast. And again, this is another episode of The FNtruth. And this is Chris Hurst, and I'm out.